Hello, hello, hello. Welcome once again to our Amandla podcast, the conversations that make things happen and educate us, inform us, and make us know that there are people that have gone ahead of us and we are ready to hear from them. So this is the Amandla Conversations, and I have two phenomenal female leaders in Nigeria, women that have broken so many barriers. In fact, I refer to them as women of timber and caliber. We have our award-winning actress who has mentored so many other actresses that have come after her, and we're still watching them on Netflix, on theaters all over the world. I want to welcome Mrs. Ajoke Silva. Secondly, I want to welcome one of our female development leaders in this nation, someone that she's not just an activist, but she is what I call her a deep consultant that has raised so many other development leaders in this nation, Miss Ene Obi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So I just want to thank the two of you for being here. It is another exciting episode for us. So maybe I should start with Auntie Obi, if you don't mind. I call her Afro Baby. So we are looking today at feminist movement, feminist leadership, agency, and movement power, especially in Nigeria. But today we're looking at feminist leadership and transformational leadership. That's just sort of the focus for us. So, Auntie Ene, you know, what really defines feminist leadership? A lot of people are confused. They think, is this women power? They want to break things. They don't like men and so on and so forth. But there are so many contexts around it. So where did this leadership come up from? As in, what differentiates it from traditional leadership and all this male-dominated civic movement?
I want to thank you very much for your question, and it's a great pleasure to be here and on set with my darling sister and with you.
Thank
you. It's really been great, to be on the stage. And I want to say that we are all on the stage together. Our generation is on stage, and it's very, very important for us to acknowledge that we're here for a reason. The issue of transformational leadership, of the feminist leadership, I think many people, they have misconstrued the word feminist. Who is a feminist? When you want to look at that, who is a feminist? A feminist is someone who advances the leadership, the affairs of equal gender. Before now, when we, in the early days, even if you go to Google to go and search for who is a feminist, it tells you anyone who advances women's rights. And then that made men to also realize that many of them are feminists.
That's true.
And we had worked from the stress of, at a younger age, we belong to Women in Nigeria, an organization, one of the foremost feminist organizations in Nigeria. And it was for men and women for the advancement of Nigerian women. And so when you look at that, so feminist leadership is about someone who wishes to advance the leadership, value-driven, with vision, and then to transform. So when you look at transformational leadership and also feminist leadership, you're looking at them together, advancing, the call for society. You look at who is in, who is benefiting, who is included in the decision-making. Who are you moving? It's about mentorship, it's about transforming, it's about creating, avenues and opportunities for people to thrive. It's about moving the world with you, moving because if you are actually a leader and you don't produce other leaders, then you don't qualify to be a leader. And so for us, if you look at how many women, not just women and men that Sister Ajoke has produced in her life.
Yes.
And for me, for someone who almost got denied of education.
Wow.
And then I was able to break that barrier. That energized me to keep breaking the barrier for more women and girls, that come across me but more women, because when you look at the patriarchal nature
Yes.
of our society, everything is geared towards men. Everyone is saying the leaders are men. But at home, who are the leaders? Who are those grooming children?
Yes.
You know, you see that women are actually in the forefront in terms of transformational leadership, because we find out that many women who are educated,
Yes.
you will never find their child uneducated. Women will sell their wrapper. That's transformational.
That's true.
The women will say, I haven't gone to school, but my child will go to school. And they will tell you, for the women, they will protect both the male and the Igbos will say, is a child that will give me wrapper.
Yeah.
You know, the Yorubas will tell you a child is a child, and your maloluko meji. For a mother, so you transform the whole society by transforming the lives of your children and the community. Women are the community leaders. So when we are looking at that advancement, but the feminist leadership is not about power over.
Yes.
And that is transformational leadership too. It's about power that includes people, that power with the people. And so you find out that when you're on stage, some people, when they're on stage, they don't want more people to be on stage.
That's true.
But you build a social capital. You build people along with you. And so feminist leadership and transformational leadership is about lifting the lives of so many.
Thank you so much, Auntie Ene. Thank you so much.
Very true.
Auntie Joke.
I'm calling them auntie because they are my elders. So for those of you watching from all over the world, it is our Nigerian culture.
Yes.
Auntie Ajoke, you have been in the creative industry for so many years. I'm sure you will tell us how many years.
Yeah.
And in this creative industry, how important is it for framing the messaging in areas of women's rights, gender justice, and just the women's movement in this nation?
Thank you so much, Hansatu, for having me along with this juggernaut, Auntie Sis Ene, as I call her. It's really wonderful to be here, and it's been a really wonderful time to be part of the TOT. Now, the importance of having the people in our sector framing properly is that we need to understand the power of our sector. We are storytellers.
That's true.
We are the continual. We have been handed the baton of the Tales by Moonlight era. When we were younger.
Yes.
When even when our grandmothers were younger,
That's true.
their grandmothers were the ones telling them the stories that were carrying on the storytelling, of the community, and they handed it down word of mouth, and it was so important to them, that storytelling. It was handed down over generations, and now we have all kinds of technology, all kinds of platform to continue that storytelling, to keep the traditions and the culture of our communities, our various communities, and the power of that storytelling is such that the number of subliminal messages that get that get passed on even without your awareness. It's okay for me to say, don't go down the road. I've said it. Don't go down the road. But if I tell you that when you go down that, you see at the bottom of that road, there's one pit around there, and you won't see it. But you are constantly, you just enter like that. Something will just cover you. Ask me if that person is going to go down that road. They won't go. You tell the story around it. And so when we're talking about the stories of our story of the feminist movement, of the women's movement, we need to frame it properly in all its complexities. A lot of times we can fall into the being simplistic and framing it in such a way that it's very binary. It is either this or that, and so without bringing in all the complexities of the movement, then it's difficult to bring in all the various voices. For instance, and I'll end there. When somebody tells you that this feminist movement is a very foreign, it's not our culture, it's not our culture, it is not the Nigerian culture, it is not the African culture. Okay, thank you very much. Please, where would the About Women's protest come in? Where would the Alimotu Pele Wuras come in? Where would the Sis Enes come in? Do you understand? Where would the Hansatus come in from, the private sector? Women's advocacy has never not existed. It has always existed throughout time and continues to exist. What the issue is that there are structural barriers in place that make it seem as if it does not
exist. Thank you very much. That's true. That's true. Auntie Joke, you didn't tell us how long you have been in this creative industry. For those that don't know, she's our own Oscar-winning actress. We have awarded highly long before.
Around 45 years.
Wow, 45 years is a lifetime. Older than so many of our viewers. Auntie Ene, coming back to you. Yeah. We just want to look at feminist leadership again from a values-driven perspective, because one of the things we are having, just I said earlier, a lot of confusion around really what feminist leadership is. But from a value-driven perspective, how can the feminist leadership movement be institutionally effective? So now it's not just about individuals, institutionally effective without losing itself to all these radical perspectives and groundedness, especially in the areas of justice and equity.
The issue of feminist leadership is grounded in the area of social justice, because that's the issues of inclusion, the issues of equity. And when you are looking at giving value, you have to be inspirational.
Yes.
You are not a static leader. You are someone who inspires. You are someone who has vision. You are someone who motivates.
Very true.
And so if you are not a motivator, you are not a feminist leader. And again, a lot of us are in the women's movement and we're feminists, but we need to look at what strand of feminism do you belong to? There's so many theories in terms of being a feminist. And so a lot of people, they are radical feminists. There are people they are Marxist feminists. You have intersectionalism and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But what branches do you belong to? You need to choose. You need to make a choice. But when it comes to feminist leadership, it's about, yes, you can be, you can be courageous, you can be radical, be bold, but be humble. And so when you work on that part, because some people used to think that those who are radicals or those who are feminists, they are very rude people and all of that. But you have to understand, we're carrying a tradition with us. We are carrying a heritage of the humility of an African person. And so as an African woman, I'm not going to tell my husband, you are stupid, you shut up. You come with that value. It's not just about not insulting your husband, but you are also, or your elder brother, you also come from a tradition where you don't insult elders. So if you don't insult elders in your home, your elder brother, how does it come that you come home and then disrespect your husband because you feel you are a radical? No, a radical comes with mutual respect. Radicalism comes with mutual respect. It comes with courage. It comes with intellectual, perspectives. And so when you move along that line, you have to be someone who is always organizing, looking at inclusivity.
Yeah.
You know, how do you include other people, persons with disability, women who are vulnerable, many children who are vulnerable, young people who are vulnerable? How do you move them to the next stage? Who teaches others, you know, the positivities of life? You know, we're having issues of women representation in our country. And that's a big one, you know, that we're looking at. Women have been in that life. So if our ancestors, that's why when we started the program, I said, we are working on our own stage. This is our generation now. And we are making it intergenerational because, you know, who do we hand over to?
Yes.
When we were at the barricade in 2022, you know, at the National Assembly, when they threw out the gender bills, Hansatu was there live, and I said, you can't move. I remember some of the things that we did on the barricade. We have been there with Ajoke in terms of looking at the special seats so that we can move the next level. It's not for us.
Yes.
We want it for
The next
as a better
generation.
society.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at, if the life of your mother was better, if your mother was educated, it will influence you
Yeah.
as who you are now. And for us who are educated, all my children, I was the first, I would say maybe the first degree holder in terms of women for my grandchildren, for my grandfather. But now there are multitudes of children. We have been able to break those barriers and all of that. And that is transformational. So we're looking at how you can inspire in the spirit of social justice, how other people would be able to move. When it comes to intersectionality, there are so many languages that people are borrowing. There's so many things that they're talking about. You know, you go into the, it used to be the gay, lesbian, or LGBTQ and so on. People make choices in their lives. That's their business. What is my business is I will focus with the courage that I have. I will also make sure that I don't forget my heritage. Because we owe the lives of Funmilayo and Nyesom Kuti, they have gone. The women who died, you know, with Aba women, or the South women, because it wasn't only about women. Women from the Southeast,
yeah.
you know, and South that gathered and said, no injustice. Exactly.
I always love to talk about this woman, Gambusa. I love that woman.
I didn't get the opportunity to meet her, you know.
Oh, I think she was incredible.
We also got to see Margaret Ekpo, you know, of blessed memory. I had the opportunity of visiting her, you know, with the Koyo Toyo and the likes, and we met her. And the question she asked us, we thought we were bold to, by the time the woman said they were standard 6.
Wow.
And that they went to London to go and struggle with Funmilayo and Nyesom Kuti and Gambo Sawaba.
Wow.
All of them, they went to go and struggle for the independence. They joined the men, and they had the blessing of Nnamdi Azikiwe, who used to support them, fuel the car for them. She told us the story of how she went to Funmilayo and Nyesom Kuti to go and beg Mr. Nyesom Kuti, please allow her to come out with me. You know, the women, you can imagine 3 women at that time that movement was not easy.
Yes.
Yet they were able to mobilize. And so transformationally, these women have made their sacrifices. Professor Jadeshola Akonde, of blessed memory, broke the barriers, the Ayo, Ashenwa, and all of them. You know, we have had some great women, Sophie Oluola, Oluole, and the likes of them. So when so many women that we need to document these efforts for the younger generation as well.
Yes.
And so this kind of the leadership we're encouraging is to make sure that we multiply leaders. And then, but where is their voices? When there is a lack of the kind of unemployment we are having, we are multiplying, we reproduce, we are in charge of reproduction. We give birth to children. Many of them have gone to school. They have finished their schooling. There is no job for them. And we are not on the table to decide about our children. And when children actually, you know, when they don't have money or when they want to go somewhere, you know, they don't ask daddies. They hardly ask daddies. They will come to mothers. And so you live with the agony and the inflation and the poverty that is happening now. We need to get involved. But the stage seems to be really, really skewed against women.
We can feel your passion oozing from where you are. You see, that is when you know leaders that
the what they're doing comes from within. Oh, so Ajoke, I'm coming back to you.
Yes.
What responsibility do filmmakers, our creatives, storytellers, our legends and icons that are veterans in the industry, like you, of course, all our cultural icons, what responsibility do they have to just ensure that they address some of these challenges around women's agency, the choice women have, using just their creative platforms to address these stereotypes?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question, because it then goes back again to what I was saying about complexity. And I'm going to answer that question with a story.
Fantastic.
With a story. Now, let us imagine you have this amazing couple where the wife is someone in the private sector, and the husband is in academia. All right, and he's an incredible academic, and he lectures in the university. His students love him. He's not one of these sex for grades lecturers. He is somebody who is really focused on passing down knowledge and researching and learning with young people and all that. But you will see that there will be a disparity in earnings. So Madame earns a lot. She works in the bank. She's an exceeding in the bank, and she's earning superbly. He's not earning as much, but he's earning good, but it's way nowhere near what she's earning. And so she's the one who ends up building the house. After being a young couple, they graduate into, they have their children. He's the one who tends to have more time to be with the children and help them with their homework. And he's the one, who he spends time with the children. Don't forget, we're saying feminism is about gender balance. Yes. Okay. So he's the one who spends more time, and she's the one who is earning more. And she's not around as much, and so she ends up building the house that or the couple of houses that they have. It is with her funds that they do it. And of course he contributes what he can. He contributes to their welfare, and then unfortunately, she passes on for some reason or the other. And, the property, all right, he's left to, so the property is there.
Yeah.
All right. But and he's living in the property. And then the family are like, our daughter is the one that built this house. Our daughter built this house. What right do you have to be living in this house and all that? And the story, I would expect when given this a story like this, let us look. So what are the complexities there? Because normally we would say that if it was the man who had been the one who had left the property, who had been the massive earner and all that, we would say that the woman has a right, even if she wasn't, all the time she spent, that was social capital, was this thing,
That's true.
And so we need that need to balance, all right, to look at contributions to the family, and I'm just saying into this particular story, in answering your question, to the family unit. We need to it needs to be seen from a balanced perspective.
Very
all
true.
right, and the impact that each person is bringing to the table. Now, the stereotype is what I had said before, that the man would be the earner and the would be earning higher. Now, but on stereotypical storytelling allows for all kinds of, allows humanity to express itself, and advance beyond this two stock, this what you would call two-dimensional characters. So I think when you analyze that story, you will find that it comes out on so many levels. There's so many levels that it's addressing.
Said like a true veteran. I love that you are educating us with storytelling. Already.
Yes.
It's easier to picture.
Sure.
As we were talking, I could just picture. That's true. It's awkward, but technically, he is also entitled.
So,
He
yeah.
had become one. And so on and so
Yes,
forth.
yes.
But we'll leave that debate for another time. So at the end, in concluding, because I know that I mean, if we had the opportunity, we could go on and on and on. But what are the most critical leadership shifts that are required for feminist movement in Nigeria to transform us from that advocacy to actual sustained systematic transformation?
It's about inclusion, about diversity, about shared power. Because the situation is we are in an unequal power relations. That's what we're having. But from Sister Ajoke's analysis, you will look at the shared power. When we are in a family, who is a member of a family? The man is a member, the woman is a member, the children are members.
Yeah.
And so who are the stakeholders of a family? That's the smallest unit of governance. And so do we have shared power in that environment? And then you move into the community. And women are the ones holding power at the community level.
Yeah.
You have the Catholic Women Organization, you have Form 1, Muslim women organizations, you have community organizing, the local population. And when it comes to building relationship across the communities, it's women that are doing it. So it's about inclusion. It's about accountability. Are you accountable for the power that you have? Are you transparent with the power that you have? And so feminist leadership is about organizing. We need to look at the women agency. And many men that have supported women, it's because, it's like, I remember one guy who told me, he said, I am woman brought up. I am who I am today because of my mom.
Yep.
Because the guy is always, he used to tell us, mom is still there. You see, because the mom was very old. But when the mother died, in 1 week, this guy was like half his size. I said, what is going on? Hajia has gone home, to the maker. And all those. He said, don't tell me that. I'm woman brought up. That's the woman that made me who I am today. And so the contribution of women is immeasurable. Many of us are here and today because of our moms, because they gave up everything. And so many men can testify. So it's not about the struggle to go and be disobedient. It's because he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. If there are no women, Nigeria today has maternal mortality more than anywhere in the world. We are now the last 5 out of all the countries. We are from the bottom. Nigeria is number 1. And we will say we are not at war. Women and young women and, middle-aged women who are pregnant today is like they are walking on the maternity death road. Who will discuss it? Is it men who will discuss it? We have a situation in this country where we have 14 houses of assembly, not a single woman. And they have women committees. At the National Assembly, you have, a Senate, you have 109. Only 4 women. How many times will they raise their hands so that their voices can be heard? In the House of Representatives, 360. Only 16 women. How many times would they let them, So what we are saying, all these are our children. These are children of Nigeria. We want male and female to sit together. They are qualified. We have millions of women who are professors today, who are contributing, medical doctors, engineers, and so on and so forth. What we are saying is for transformational leadership that will lead to development, men and women need to be together. I have boys and girls. I want them to be on the table and not to be under the table. And think that my girl doesn't qualify. I told I'm a mother-in-law, by the way, and I told my daughter-in-law, I said, you are a princess in my life. You are the queen, a queen in our family. You will be my princess for always. If your husband does anything,
let me know.
Let me know, but that boy cannot even hurt. She knows what we do. And so the respect for a woman is respect for humanity. And again, let me end that. Women's rights are human rights. Because women struggle for the humans in their lives, for the human children that they have given birth to. her life is not about hers. And so transformational leadership is to open up that vision, that equality, social justice, include people, share power so that the country can be greater.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think, in fact, I wish we could unbox this thing over a week, but we will move on. Auntie Joke, I think one of the things that we have seen that has been predominant in our creative spaces is the use of digital platforms to amplify messages. And I think Nigerians have done very well in Africa when it comes to skits and music and so on and so forth. And the digital platforms have been used to sort of amplify what they're doing. I was even in Kenya, I think a few weeks ago, and the taxi driver that was with me said, oh, they love Nigerian films.
Movies.
Because he was mentioning some things. I kept on saying, how did you know that about Nigeria? Your films. So they have a whole community that loves Nigerian films, including himself. So how can digital platforms and storytelling be strategically used to shift from that feminism narrative into, people see that as activism, but want to shift it into mainstream cultural consciousness so that, collectively people begin to see it from the same perspective.
Again, I will go back to storytelling. It's so important that when we're talking about any issue, for instance, there's something that I know that Sis Ene is very passionate about, and that is the special seats bill. Okay, so when we're talking about the special seats bill, the idea is that we need more women to be part of the decision making. We are 50% of the population in the mighty name of Jesus, and yet we don't get to have a say. So if we're telling a story about that, all right, on let's say YouTube.
Yes.
For instance, we want to tell a story on YouTube, and you have a gathering of some leaders of the community who come. The men have come, and they are saying that, and they are very, their hearts are very, their hearts are very empathetic about their women, how hardworking they are in the farm, and they want them to have a kind of transportation that has solar, that is engine powered, and all that they can use to go from the house to the farm. It would be, it would help the women, in farming. And then you now say to the women that, women, can we hear from you? Let's just hear your side of your side of the story. Don't forget, I'm talking YouTube now. This is a story on YouTube. And the women say, and they say, we have these, your men have told us that what you need is this, so we're going to get this for you. We're going to get these solar powered tractors for you to take you from the house to the farm and all that and all. And the women say, solar powered tractors, how? No, thank you. What we need are bicycles. And you're like, in the 21st century, what do you want bicycles? Bicycles are easier for them to maintain. Who is going to fix these when these solar powered whatever pack up? Who is going to fix them in their own community, right? So the women are the ones experiencing whatever. Yes, in time they will get to that solar powered whatever, but for now the immediate need are the bicycles. They can look after those bicycles themselves. They don't need any outside agency. They have their own agency. Do you understand? Yes. So in conclusion, what it is that whatever the feminist issue is, right, that we're passing on digitally, whether we're looking at WhatsApp groups, we're looking at there's WhatsApp, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, First of all, we must keep in mind that sometimes there are members of our community who cannot afford the data, all right? So we are looking, and then also we need to be aware of what language we're communicating in. But whatever platform we're using to pass on these messages, and in whatever language, and the language that we use, yes, let us not forget that, yes, English is our official language, but we can use broken English. Pidgin English is a means of communication, and then our native languages too are a means of communication. Let us try to do that without using machines, because they will not get the nuances. So let's translate whatever that. But most importantly, whatever message we are passing must be connected to a human story. If you want to galvanize people, connect it to a human story. Once it is connected to a human story, then it is easier for it to for it to galvanize people and be well organized. Just organize yourself in the ways you're passing down the story, and also be prepared for when people have a backlash. Don't think of it as a backlash. Look at it as trying to understand. Be ready with know the answers that for the possible questions that will come, and infuse them into the story. But they should be short, sharp. Yes.
Maybe I can also, I just want to say that we need to rebuild the women agency. So we're really thankful to Amandla Institute, for the work they're doing now in strengthening the women's movement. And we need to put our hands together, because building this country is a responsibility for us as well.
Everybody.
And so we want to be able to work. I'm so happy that we're working quite together with Ajoke, and we're working with you,
Yes.
and there are lots of women. We need to coordinate them to move the women agency forward. Women don't have a tribe. Our tribe is humanity.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, you have edited from the veterans. I'm one of the privileged few that has the opportunity to sit with these women. And she just told us that she met Margaret Ekpo, and I will be able to say the same thing in many generations to come, that I sat with this veteran. But I just want to say that and for all of you watching out there, the women's movement, feminist movement are not the negative narratives that have been pushed out there. We are not women that hate men, or women that just don't want to see men. We want to take over. No, it's really about equity. It's about inclusive leadership. It's just about economic balance. There is a high cost to exclusion of women and even persons with disabilities, the minority groups. A very high cost that we're paying.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of benefits to inclusion. So thank you once again for having us at the Amandla Conversations. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to having you next time. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.